Is South Africa's justice system finally growing oiled up? You are watching the special edition desk.
SFTE Africa. Power, truth, insight.
For years, corruption has dominated South Africa's political conversation. Every administration has promised accountability. Every major scandal has been met with public outrage. Yet, for many South Africans, justice always seemed one step behind corruption. Cases dragged on, investigations stalled, and confidence in the criminal justice system began to erode. But the 2025 and 2026 years have introduced a different conversation. For the first time, South Africans are watching several high-profile matters unfold simultaneously. Whether these cases ultimately result in convictions or acquittals is for the courts to decide. But one thing is increasingly becoming clear. Institutions that were once criticized for moving too slowly are now facing intense public pressure to act. The first and perhaps most significant development is the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, established in July 2025 following the explosive allegations by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. The commission is investigating allegations of criminal syndicates, political interference, and corruption within South Africa's criminal justice system. Throughout this year, 2026, the Commission has heard testimonies from senior police officers, investigators, and other key witnesses while referring several matters for urgent criminal investigation. Because of the scale, the evidence before it, President Cyril Ramaphosa has twice extended the Commission's lifespan, allowing its work to continue into late 2026. Now, what makes this commission different is that it is not investigating a single corruption scandal. It is investigating whether the very institutions responsible for fighting corruption have themselves been compromised. If those allegations prove true, then corruption is no longer simply a governance problem. It has become a threat to the rule of law itself. The second case attracting national attention is that of businessman Vusmusiket Matlala. Matlala has become one of the most central figures connected to allegations surrounding the irregular SAPS Medicare 24 tender and alleged corruption involving senior police officials. Earlier this year, he entered into a plea agreement with prosecutors, but after the court rejected the proposed sentence as too lenient, the agreement collapsed. The guilty plea was withdrawn and the matter has now been set down for trial. This means the allegations against him will be tested in open court, and like every accused person, he remains presumed innocent until proven guilty. His case illustrates an important principle. Justice is not measured by arrests alone. It is measured by whether evidence can withstand judicial scrutiny inside a courtroom. Another case that continues to shape South Africa's constitutional democracy is Phala Phala. We all know that one. In 2026, the Constitutional Court ruled that Parliament had acted unlawfully when it failed to properly deal with the independent panel's report into the Phala Phala matter. The court ordered Parliament to restart its constitutional oversight process. Now, it is important to understand that what this judgment does and what it does not say. It does not determine President Cyril Ramaphosa's guilt or innocence. It instead reinforces the constitutional principle that no public office, including the presidency, should be beyond parliamentary accountability. That's it. And finally, there is a case of a former ANC member of Parliament, Vincent Smith. In March 2026, Smith was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment after pleading guilty to fraud and corruption linked to the Bosasa kickbacks. Unlike many corruption stories that remain under investigation for years, this case has reached a courtroom. A guilty plea was entered and a sentence was imposed. For many South Africans, it became one of the clearest signs that some recommendations emerging from state capture era are finally translating into criminal accountability. These 4 cases are different. They involve different people, different institutions, different allegations, but together they point to the same question. Is South Africa finally entering an era where corruption is investigated, prosecuted, and subjected to meaningful judicial oversight? Only time will answer that. But today's discussion isn't only about politicians, business people, or senior officials. It is about ordinary South Africans. Corruption does not begin with billion-rand tenders. It begins when someone pays a traffic officer to avoid a fine. It begins when someone lies on a job application. It begins when public positions are awarded through connections instead of competence. It begins when honesty becomes negotiable. Everyday corruption creates the environment in which grand corruption survives. If society accepts dishonesty in small matters, it becomes increasingly difficult to condemn dishonesty on a much larger scale. The fight against corruption, therefore, cannot belong only to commissions, prosecutors, and judges. It must also belong to citizens. Because institutions can investigate corruption, courts can prosecute corruption. But only society can reject corruption. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson emerging from South Africa in 2026. Justice is not only about punishing wrongdoing. It is about rebuilding public trust. I said this in an earlier episode. And here at SFTB Africa, we don't just follow the headlines. We examine what they mean for society. Because accountability begins with informed citizens, and informed citizens build stronger democracies. I'm Kananelo Seemahale. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and keep asking the questions that matter.